Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. This reading will be for Wednesday, January 27th, 2021. And while I was shuffling the cards, this card flew out, flipped over. It was laying there, right, just like it is right now. So I had to leave it. I'm going to draw two more cards to see what our message is for the day. And then I'll dive in, and also to bring in a spiritual message to help us heal our souls. Bring in some spiritual law is what I can see right here with the Temperance card. This card always reminds me of the law of mutual reception, where when two forces come together. Actually, let me grab the traditional Rider-Waite so that we can. Here we go. It's number 14. And just so we can let's do this for a moment and compare both. So it's Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael, a protective archangel, very, very protective. And I mean, in this artist rendition, which I absolutely love, it's the Light Seer's Tarot. And this is the Borderless Rider-Waite, if you're interested in which decks. But anyway, no matter what, there is the back and forth. There is the blending of energy. And that's the way consciousness and energy works. We have our conscious intention, and then we have the energy of the universe that is bound by law to receive us. So every day as we're moving through our lives, under our free will, we are going through the motions of blending whatever level of consciousness that we're operating from. And that's what we have going on here too with this, with the two cups going back and forth. We can see, I feel like this is, more of the image of our spiritual fluids, our soul substance that are, that's always moving within the stream of life. And here, this archangel is literally standing in, water. And we have the path in the background with the promise of a brighter future. And we have, I think these are yellow lilies bringing in, they could have been white or yellow, bringing in purity and life. But I love the, ginormous wings here. And the red color, the passion, the life force. And the healing. We have a triangle here, which reminds me of, the Trinity, like the law of Trinity. So the other spiritual law within this card is that when two forces come together, like two yeses come together, this could be you and another person, this could be you and a project that you're working on. When those two forces come together in a big yes, what happens is, so let's say one of this is you, or let's say one is you, and the other one is all of your guides and your guardian angels that are working with you to help you create something. Well, when there is that openness, and there is that, like I said, two yes currents coming together, two yeses coming together, it creates a third entity, which is brings in the law of Trinity, Holy Trinity, the trine. It brings in, a completely new entity. If this were a couple creating a baby, this could be, like the female and the male, and then, the sperm meets the egg, which is a miracle to me to understand how it even happens, because the egg is spinning. But at least one little one will get in there every once, sooner or later, if usually. And what happens from there then, of course, we have the third entity, which is a baby, a being of life. And it can be that it's a creative project, like I was saying. It can be anything that is a new form of your self-expression. And that can only come into being, like I was saying, when yourself merges with something beyond yourself. So this is where you open up to your guides, your guardian angels, to the universe. And we literally like bridge a gap when we do this. We have to open up to this law of mutuality when when we want to bridge the gap. If we're in separation, if we're in that place where we're feeling like, let's imagine one of these cards came in, or this card came in reversed. If that were the case, then the issue could have something to do with feeling like, or having a false belief that you don't, you're all alone, and you don't have support, and you don't have help. And the reason I'm bringing that concept in is because we have the Six of Pentacles here to remind us that we don't live in a vacuum, that there is, this, here again, mutual reception, bringing something in, this exchange of energy where giving and receiving are one and the same. It's all the same. When you're giving, someone's receiving, and when they're receiving you, you're giving and you're receiving as well. When someone allows you to receive you, you're also receiving. It's one of those things you'd have to meditate on and just, literally just sit and think about giving and receiving. How giving is receiving and receiving is giving. Imagine somebody not wanting to receive your gift. Then that breaks, and that would be the case if the Six of Pentacles were reversed, where there's no reciprocity. But for this message, we do have this reciprocity. This is beautiful. This card is all about, generosity and sharing and balance. And even though it's not an 8, it's a very, I still see the pattern of the 8 here, and it is a very powerful card, which is, one of the other meanings with the Six of Pentacles. It has all to do with power. Because the Justice card is here reversed, I mean, because this card can have to do with, like, charity that comes from trying to rewrite some injustice. This can be, like a fair distribution of resources of any kind, money, gifts, any type of material generosity. And coupled with the the justice reversed, well, that can definitely be an injustice and an inequality. So I think that the main message, sometimes even like a legal complication, sometimes somebody who's been corrupt would be the justice reversed. Somebody who's been, very biased and severe. So if that's the case, you want to come back to the Temperance card, which has to do with, with balance. I mean, the traditional, meaning with the Temperance card has to do with balance and harmony, and being patient, and tolerant and moderate. So, if the message, just for the mundane message for the day, I'm thinking it could be that we need to be patient and tolerant. And especially while we're maybe waiting for gifts, this could be for some people that still haven't gotten their stimulus payment yet. And if that's the case, the message is just to wait for it, and the injustice will be, rewrited. It will be, it will come in. Let's see, what other messages do we have here? On a spiritual level, excuse me, for the spiritual meaning with this combination, then it is to go back to that law of mutuality, back to, like the law of affinity, and know that like attracts like, and that there is nothing in the universe that is inherently unjust. It's just that on Earth, in the realm of which we, came, the realm of which we hail, there, it's perfect. It's beautiful. It's love. It's all unity. It's all bliss. It's a place where you can't even have a negative thought. So you just have to remember that that's who you are deep down inside, because that's where you came from. But here on earth, things don't seem to be that way. We see a lot of corruption. We see a lot of injustice. We see things that shouldn't be. We see painful, very, very painful things that should not be. But we have to hold in our hearts the very, very, very real possibility that divine justice will have its way. When the justice card comes in reverse, I often have the feeling of, these are man-made laws that have gone awry or in the wrong direction. But divine justice is always there. The problem is that it can take more than one lifetime before the justice comes in. And so we really just have to question our beliefs around, do we believe that the universe is truly unjust? Or do we believe, here's a good false belief to check into, at least I believe it's a false belief, life isn't fair. I don't think that that's true. I think that life is 100% fair. It's just that it doesn't always manifest in the same lifetime. So it's nothing that I can prove, of course. It's just a belief that I hold, is that I'm, because I've studied so much spiritual law, that eventually justice does come around, and that would bring in the divine order and the divine justice. So if you have a belief that life isn't fair, you can question it. Just question it. Is it true? Bring in the Hanged Man. Yeah, and it follows justice. Bring in the Hanged Man and question. Look at things from all different angles. Open your mind, surrender, and open your mind to the divine order of the universe and ask the universe to teach you. Now, another way that you can hold on, I'm trying to make sure I don't mess up my order of cards here. Another way that you can look at working with a reversal is to go to the card before that. So I think in this situation, I'll bring in the Light Seer's Tarot, because that card is the Wheel of Fortune. So sometimes when a reversal comes in, the guidance is to go backwards, or you can check it out, in your own tarot, practice, when you're drawing cards for yourself. If you get the Justice reversed, you could try, well, of course, exhaust your resources in understanding the meaning of the reversal, but then you can also try a method that I like to use, which is to go back to the card before it, meaning that, especially with the majors, these are gateways of consciousness. Each of the major arcanas are gateways of consciousness, gateways of evolution, of personal evolution. Now, that doesn't mean it's a linear process where you just go from one to the next and to the next. It doesn't work that way. It's spiraling in. We're always spiraling in to a false belief until we get to the one that is there in the core of our soul, which is the lie of our soul, which is our deepest wounding, which is our soul split. And from that place, what you can do is question, like I was saying with the Hanged Man, question all of your false beliefs, and you'll finally get to the core. And it's going to have to do with something that you believe about yourself, like either you're not good enough, or you're too much, or you're never enough, or you're somehow unlovable, or you don't matter. All those are all false beliefs. But we bring in one, at least one in each lifetime, to heal. And so the deal is, if you go backwards to the Wheel of Fortune and look at that, you might have some type of a belief that you always have to be on top of everything, that you can't just let yourself flow with the circle of life and spiral in. And notice how she has some, I love it, she has some fuzzy dice around her neck, like a kind that might go over a rearview mirror. But anyway, the dice remind me to take a risk, that to know that we create our own destiny. We have our own free will, and we create our own destiny. So if you're feeling that life isn't fair, we have to go back to see what choices that we made previously that got us to where we are experiencing now, and to know that we can always change it. And life will always continue to give us opportunities to switch it up. Okay, well, that's all I have for today. Thanks, you guys, for listening, and I hope you're doing well. Take good care. Bye.